Welcome back, everyone, to Sean's show. Thank you for joining us. We are here. I'm here with Connor. Give it up for Connor, everyone. It's been such a good week. It's been an excellent week. We have so much news to get to, and thank you very much for joining. If you want extra content, go to the Patreon so I can make some money off of you. That is what I like to do. I like to make money off of you instead of the CIA. Most podcasts are backed by the CIA. They get paid by Mossad and the CIA. I prefer to get paid from you, dear, lovely people. So please do that. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about Epstein. We're going to talk about Palantir. All of your favorites are back. We're going to talk about Elon Musk. He's back in the mix. He thinks that work is going to be optional pretty soon, which is great. I thought we were all going to descend into a some sort of data center sex slave hentai thing. But I guess we're all going to have great healthcare and not work anymore. So we'll talk about that. And we're of course going to talk about. Let's start here. I don't believe there's a news story article I linked, but the only good story of the week is that Dick Cheney is gone. He's dead and gone, and his funeral is today, the Thursday in November, whatever day it is, and a lot of our favorite characters attended his funeral, and so we are here at Sean's show. We are of course, mourning the loss of this incredible humanitarian. I almost said Peter Thiel. Dick Cheney is a man of. Should we give a eulogy? I should give a eulogy real quick off the cuff. An off the cuff eulogy to Dick Cheney. Who was even there? Dick Cheney funeral. George Bush, Liz Cheney give eulogies. And wow, just look at that. That is a funeral. If you're just listening, this is like a very produced funeral. I mean, you've got members of the military, carrying his casket. I believe that's the Qatar flag. They actually draped the flag of Qatar over Dick Cheney's casket because obviously that's who he served. That's what will really be great is like an honest version of Dick Cheney's funeral where it's just everyone from Saudi Arabia. We're like, Dick, you did it, buddy. You really helped us. He's burning in hell. Dick Cheney, I mean, if there is a hell, Dick Cheney is there. I mean, you really can't understate or you can't overstate how reprehensible and sick and disgusting and filthy that this man was. He was a filthy, degenerate, subhuman piece of fucking trash, and I was a big fan of his. I was a big fan of his because he did a lot for American international policy. What do I mean by that? He committed a genocide. Whenever you hear a politician be like, this was a gentleman that did so much for American domestic and international policy, it means that they killed 5,000 people with a tomahawk. What international policy is code in politics for sending a tomahawk missile into a school bus in Syria. That's who our world honors. Our world, humanity, we honor and praise and worship the worst of the worst. And we give these royal, opulent funerals. Dick Cheney gets an opulent funeral for being a warmonger. Warmongers get opulent funerals, and people that believe and love humanity, they get killed. And that's something that I think we're all still kind of grappling with. I mean, this is an incredible photo. You just have, I read that Kamala Harris was at Dick Cheney's funeral. Bitch, what the fuck? And that's how you really know that, like, all of, what you really, the real, centrists get a ton of hate. Okay, I'm going over the place. Centrists, they get a ton of hate because when you call yourself like a centrist, or you're like one of these guys that's like, oh, all politicians suck and they're all evil. A criticism of that is people will be like, oh, well, not every politician is equally bad. Like, politicians that want free healthcare are not the same as the politicians that are literally Nazis. And you're right about that. You're right that the politicians that are literally Nazis are not the same as like Bernie Sanders. Okay? But I will say this. When you see Kamala Harris at Dick Cheney's funeral, it makes me think that you're full of shit. It makes me think that you're full of shit. If you don't have the balls or the steel vagina to decline the invite to Dick Cheney's funeral, if you get invited to Dick Cheney's funeral, you're a bad person. If you receive an invite to Dick Cheney's funeral, you did not live a life of goodness and ethics and selflessness. Getting invited to Dick Cheney's funeral is the equivalent. You're going to get an invite to hell. You will get invited to hell after that. And then you attend. Kamala Harris attended Dick Cheney's funeral. And so, it's weird because I feel like we just forget so fast. Part of me thinks, we're going to forget about Pete Hegseth in the same way. We're going to forget people, and that's what the people in power, they rely on us forgetting. You ask someone in like Gen Alpha who Dick Cheney is. Dick Cheney was not that long ago. But you ask someone in Gen Alpha about Dick Cheney and they'll be like, is that a YouTuber? Who's that? Is that like Mr. Beast? Dick Cheney, is he like a Call of Duty vlogger? Kind of. He kind of was a Call of Duty vlogger in real life. He kind of did do that. He kind of was a guy. What Dick Cheney did is he loved Call of Duty so much that he just made it real. He made it real. Big rest in peace. Rest in peace, Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney, rest in power. Rest in power. Dick Cheney, I want you to rest in power. Can we scroll down? I want to see if there's anything fun from this article here. That is a crazy photo. Is that that's just a decorative? What's funny is they didn't give him an American flag on his casket, probably because he didn't actually serve our country. Liz Cheney, who, like her father, represented Wyoming in Congress, said he was inspired to live a life of public service by Kennedy. Okay. Dick Cheney became a Republican, but he knew that the bonds of party must always yield to the single bond we share as servants of Israel, she said. For him, a choice between defense of the Constitution and defense of your political party was no choice at all. What does that mean? She's saying that for Dick Cheney, a defense of the defending the Constitution and defending your party are the same thing. That's what she means by that. And that's exactly why Dick Cheney was so effective. He turned the Republican Party into he was the war machine guy. He sucked Lockheed Martin's cock for his entire life. He was molested by Lockheed Martin. That's how early it started for him. Keep going down. I mean, is there anything else here? Eulogies. George Bush was wiping away tears as Liz Cheney spoke about her father. I mean, come on, you guys. Come on. Other speakers included Dick Cheney's longtime cardiologist, Jonathan Rayner, and he had two cardiologists. Hey, guys, give it up for the two men that kept Dick Cheney alive way longer than he should have been alive. Good job, guys. Good job. I've never met two cardiologists that killed more people indirectly. But imagine becoming a cardiologist and wanting to heal people and save them and being a doctor. And then you end up being the warmonger, the chief warmonger's You're Hitler's doctor. You're Hitler's cardiologist. These two cardiologists, they are Adolf Hitler's cardiologists. They eulogized him for several days. I mean, Pentagon, it's more of the same shit. I don't need to explain Dick Cheney's life to you guys. Among the hundreds of mourners were Joe Biden and Jill Biden, Kamala Harris, Mike Pence, Al Gore, and former Vice President Dan Quayle. Now, I want to focus on this. I'm focusing on this because this is the perfect evidence. When a politician dies, it literally feels like a mob funeral. When a politician dies and you go to their funeral, the photos from a politician's funeral, it's like exactly like a funeral from like The Sopranos. It is. It's like you have a politician's funeral is like a mob boss's funeral, because you look around in the funeral audience and you see people from all the different 5 families. Hey, thanks for paying respect to my grand. Thanks for paying respect to Carbone. He was a very, Carbone and I didn't get along. We come from different boroughs. But I wanted to pay respect. He was a strong man, and he was a tough negotiator. So I want to pay my respects. Did I murder him? Yes, I did, but I want to pay my respects. That's the mob funeral. The mob funeral is filled with people that ordered the murder of the mobster. Political funerals are the same. Charlie Kirk's funeral, there was Benjamin Netanyahu who's probably in the audience. I want to pay my respects to your husband. He was a good man, but he had to go. He goes, that's what it is. Look at all these people. And see, here's the thing. We won't do it, but I guarantee you can go and find endless clips on YouTube of all these politicians fighting each other, slandering each other. The media, and they would have you think that they are sworn enemies. Mike Pence and Kamala Harris are, they want you to think that they're sworn enemies. But ladies and gentlemen, they are not. They are both at Dick Cheney's funeral. They are friends. And I love this quote that I read recently, which is, I'm going to botch it, but it's basically like, two opposing, I fucked it up. It's two people playing chess. Two people moving pawns in a chess game are often friends, or some shit like that. But the point of it is that people that move the pawns in the chess game are friends. When you play chess, you play it with a friend. Okay? So whether it be Putin or Sam Altman or Jensen Huang, Donald Trump. It's a hard quote to find. It took me a long time to find the quote. But all these people in power, they go to the same restaurants. They live in the same neighborhoods. They send their kids play together. Their interests, and I'm kind of quoting George Carlin here. I don't want to steal from him. But their interests are aligned. They have interests that are the same. And that is why you see Kamala Harris at Dick Cheney's funeral, because guess what? As much as Kamala Harris tries to paint herself as like this women in business, women in politics kind of person, black woman in politics, you've all pressed the button to send the Tomahawk missile into the school bus. If you press a button and you send a Tomahawk missile into a school bus, I don't give a fuck if you're a Republican, Democrat, gay, straight, black, white, trans. You sent a Tomahawk missile into a school bus. Okay? I'll say it again. Pressing a button or ordering a Tomahawk missile, Raytheon Tomahawk missile, to blow up a school bus of Syrian children, that it doesn't matter if you're gay or black. It doesn't matter if you're black. What do these people expect in Judgment Day? Maybe I'm becoming a Christian. You know what? I'm going to convert to Christianity, but only so I can have some solace that Dick Cheney's burning in hell. A lot of people find God at their lowest, and I'm doing that too. I'm at my lowest because I'm an atheist, and being an atheist is really hard because there's no justice for fucking psychopaths. Being an atheist is really hard because there's no justice and there's no peace in the afterlife for warmongering, evil fucking cunts and assholes. They die, it's sad. So maybe I'll become a Christian so that I can at least sleep at night knowing that Dick Cheney is suffering. And maybe that's actually what gets me to convert. You know, like, why'd you convert to Christianity, Sean? Like, did you grow up religious? Like, no, I realized that religion was retarded at a very young age, but I only converted when I was 29 because I just saw how bad the world is. And I just was like, there has to be a God. There has to be justice for Dick Cheney. There has to be. Dick Cheney got to live an excellent life, an opulent life, fame, fortune. It must have been fun to be a warmonger in a lot of ways. And then he died, and he had 2 cardiologists that kept him alive until he was in his fucking 90s or some shit. And the only way that man gets justice is if he's burning in hell as I speak into this microphone. If you went to Dick Cheney's funeral, you should burn in hell. If you went to Dick Cheney's funeral, you will burn in hell. I don't care why you were there. I don't care if you were catering. I don't care if you were the caterers at Dick Cheney's funeral. You deserve to be burned in hell for taking that contract. I don't care if you're the guy scooping the fucking soup at Dick Cheney's funeral. You're gonna burn in hell. We'll go ahead, Connor.
Did you see who wasn't invited?
Who was not? Oh, Trump. Right? Was it Trump
and Vance?
Wow. Okay. So Trump, maybe. Wow. You know what? Maybe I'm becoming MAGA. Maybe I'm actually MAGA. So Trump and Vance were not invited, and I'm not a journalist, so I'm not gonna I don't know why I assume that they just had an argument or something. I don't know. Who knows why I don't know why they were not invited. Probably because Dick Cheney's, I don't know. It's weird. Do you know why, Connor? Why
I have no clue.
It's kind of odd. Like, I feel like Dick Cheney and JD Vance would get along great. I don't know. Did they have a falling out? Did the warmongers have a falling out?
Or did Cheney have a coming to God moment at the end and realize he was like, well, if I seek penance now, then I'll be forgiven.
Yeah. He did the classic, I'm sorry. You know, like Hitler, he did the classic, like, I'm sorry. People do that, like, right before they die. You know, a lot of, like, old white guys that are just, like, really rich, and they're landlords, and they're just generally not great people. At the end of their life, they find God because they're afraid of justice. And that's a fact. I think, you know, and I see it a lot. You see it a lot and it'll happen to us, Connor. You see it a lot. I don't know what, you know, you don't have to share your religion. I'm an atheist, but probably when I'm 60 or 70, I'm going to look back at my life of media propagandizing and say, I think I gotta find something, you know? I get worried. When you're young, it's easier to be evil because you think you're going to live forever. And then when you get old, you're looking at the grave and you're like, fuck, I forgot I'm going to die. And that's why a lot of these guys find God, so that because they're afraid of hell. And so they repent for sending the Tomahawk missile. Do you think Dick Cheney at the end of his life, he was like, dear God, if you're listening, I'll be joining you soon. And I just want you to understand, you're all knowing and I love you. All hail Jesus Christ. I love Jesus. I want to blow Jesus. I will do anything for Jesus Christ. I'll let Jesus Christ degrade me. Lord Jesus in heaven, if you're listening, God, please forgive me for sending Tomahawk missiles into school buses in Syria or whatever I did. God, if you're listening, please, okay, here we go. Donald Trump was not invited to Dick Cheney's funeral due to the strained personal relationship and political disagreements between the two men in recent years. Former vice president. Does it say about why they didn't like each other?
I'm searching for that now. I'm trying to see personal.
You know, it's you just
wait. Was Cheney on the list?
well, if he was on the list, then they should all go. Everyone that's on the list was there. Maybe Dick Cheney wasn't on the list. Maybe he was like, I'll go and kill kids in Afghanistan, but you know what I won't do is rape a child. That's where I draw the line. Dick Cheney, maybe he wasn't. But it's wild that Kamala Harris was there and Donald Trump was not. Our next story, sorry, we had a technical error. We cut that out. I'm not censoring myself, by the way. That edit that we just made in the video, I'm not censoring myself. Okay, that was the CIA. Okay, we're getting attacked. Sometimes I actually have defend against cyber attacks. So we are back. Let's do. So this story is crazy. Speaking of, let's transition from the dead warmongers to the current ones. We have, which is crazy. If you're just listening, we have a video on the screen of our good friend Donald Trump, podcast host Donald Trump, frequent podcast guest Donald Trump, sitting down with Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince, his excellency of Saudi Arabia. Now, here's the thing. What's crazy is, first I just want to say this, shout out to every comedian that hangs out with Trump and did the Riyadh Comedy Fest. This is kind of, I blame you guys. The Riyadh Comedy Fest was lubricant. It was lube. It lubed the surface so that Mohammed bin Salman could slide and slither his way into our glorious White House. So Saudi Arabia which by the way did 9/11. Saudi Arabia, I don't know, that might be a conspiracy. I think it's a conspiracy. Who knows who did it? Could have been Saudi Arabia, the government of Saudi Arabia. So, they did 9/11 allegedly, and now we just hang out with them. Now they're like a huge ally. And the reason they're a huge ally is because what's more important than and here's the thing. I respect Donald Trump. I respect Donald Trump a lot because as a leader, you have to make a tough choice. You have to make a decision. And the decision that Donald Trump had to make is, do I work with someone who orchestrated the murder and dismemberment of a journalist in Saudi Arabia? Or and retain my integrity as an individual? Or do I work with a country that's going to make me billions and billions and billions and dropping in bans and fucking liquor and bitches and deals and sacrifice my integrity for the sake of my own investment account? And that's exactly what he did. Donald Trump made the decision that, and this is what it takes to be a good leader. What it takes to be a good leader in the 21st century is zero conscience. What it takes to be a good leader in the 21st century is having absolutely no soul. You have to work with people that rape kids and kill journalists, because what's more important than that is the GDP. The GDP. That's what he would say. You go, people are so angry that Trump is working with Saudi Arabia, but it's like, yeah, he killed a journalist, but the GDP, but we got to fight inflation. We got to work with the country that has the oil. We got to work with the country that's trying to diversify out of oil and into esports. Did they kill a journalist? Yes. But they want to buy our chips. They want to buy the NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs. Sometimes you have to sell GPUs to people that kill journalists. Sometimes to be a good leader and an entrepreneur is sitting down with them and saying, look, let's just get to brass tacks. I raped a couple kids, you killed a journalist, but how do we make some money here? Let's make some money. So that's kind of where we're at. We have a lot of very funny timestamps from this because there are good people left in the world, ladies and gentlemen. We have let's start with the first timestamp. I can't even remember what it is, but I will remember once we watch it. And
Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst. One of the worst in the business.
he is
But I'll ask you a
funny.
question.
He is funny.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been, no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman
21
is
trillion
concerned,
of what?
He's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about.
Pause it.
Whether you like him or didn't like him.
So she goes, why are you entertaining? Why did you invite the guy that killed the journalist into the White House? We have evidence and proof that he murdered Jamal Khashoggi. And he's like, a lot of people didn't like that guy. Hey, the guy you're talking about, not a good guy. He's a mob bot. This is mobster shit. He goes, a lot of people didn't like that guy. It's like, just because you don't like a journalist doesn't mean you can kill them. He doesn't even try to be like, he doesn't even try to deflect and like blame someone else. It's like at this point, he doesn't even care. He's like, hey, sometimes if you talk shit, you die. So he doesn't even try to like brush off the accusation from this journalist that MBS killed this reporter. And what MBS says, Mohammed bin Salman, let's keep watching this part. What he says is even crazier.
Like him, things happen, but he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like
It
that.
is an embarrassment. Can you pause? I'm sorry, pause it again.
Allow me to answer.
I love how he goes, why are you embarrassing my guest here with the truth? Stop embarrassing my guest with the truth. Hey, who are you with? ABC? Fake news. How dare you ask my guest about things that he did in the past? Hey, who are you with? How dare you ask my guest? I can't do Trump. How dare you ask my guest? It's like honestly, and MBS is like, he's like, what? It happened a long time ago, but he's like wiping the blood of the journalist off of his hands. He probably killed another journalist on the way to the White House, and he's like wiping his hands off. He probably still has actual blood on his hands. And here's the thing, you guys. Jamal Khashoggi is the only orchestrated assassination that we are aware of. There could be many more people that Mohammed bin Salman is involved in murdering that we just have no idea that he was involved. Charlie Kirk, I don't know. You do the map. It's hard to really do that Always Sunny meme where it's Charlie with his hair is crazy and he's like, ah! The politics right now, it feels a lot like that meme. It really does feel a lot like Charlie from Always Sunny. With all the strings tying to the loops and the fucking board, and he's like cracked out and it's like dark. It's like a candlelit room. I love this photo. Look, this is really iconic because it really explains, this is what it feels like to try and dissect politics right now in 2025. It's just like, Mohammed bin Salman is friends with Epstein or Trump. It's like Mohammed bin Salman sat down with Trump. Trump is in the Epstein files, and Mohammed bin Salman is doing a deal with Trump. That means Mohammed bin Salman is afraid that he's in the Epstein files too. And Benson Boone is doing backflips. And Benson Boone is doing backflips on stage. And Benson Boone works with Live Nation. And Live Nation is doing AI. And Hollywood's doing AI. And they're contracting with OpenAI. And Sam Altman is from Israel. And it's like, dude, all right? It's like, it's really hard to make sense of everything. And that's why you watch this show, because I also fail at doing that. I don't know. I have the same information as you guys. You know what I mean? But it's really, if you're feeling this way, if you're feeling like you can't connect the dots with all the politics and insanity that's going on right now, I always go back to this ground truth. Which is a Latin phrase, which is, who is raping the kids? Qui rapo kiddo is a Latin phrase that means who's raping the kids, and that's who we need to be worried about. There's this Latin phrase that I always, whenever I'm feeling confused about politics, there's always this Latin phrase that I go back to as sort of something that grounds me, which is qui humano traffico childo, which stands for who's trafficking children and raping them. And that grounds me. And so when I do that and I look at this video, I'm like, well, Trump's in the Epstein files, so we're going to be wary of this guy. This Trump guy, I'm kind of worried about him. Isn't it crazy right now to just be like, I want to go to people and be like, you guys know Trump? I'm really kind of worried. I'm kind of worried that he's like, doesn't he seem a little off? He's like, who are you with? Trump even today was like calling for the hanging. We'll get to this in a little bit, but Trump called for some Democrat politicians to be hanged. It's getting that bad. There were a few Democrat politicians that came out and they were like, if you see ICE deporting someone, or if you work for ICE, like it's basically like it's your responsibility to stand up and stop ICE from deporting people because you have to defend our Constitution. There were Democrat senators that like came out and said that on X, and then Trump, because he's the president, he did what any good leader would do, which is he called for their public hanging. He called for them to be hanged. And I like that. I like that our president, I think this is good. I think this is bad. I think we're really getting honest here. I actually think this is good. I think we're finally getting honest. I'm glad that Trump called, let's pull up this story. It's crazy. I'm glad that we're finally just getting honest. You know what I mean? Isn't it more refreshing to deal with an actual like Nazi, for example, than someone who pretends that they're not a Nazi? Trump is it's just cards on the table. Let me just read this headline. Trump's call to hang Democrats is another irresponsible panic move to bury bad news. Well, that's an understatement. I would say it's a little worse than that. I would say that calling to hang your political opponents is more than a panic move. I think it's full-blown tyrannicism. On Thursday, Trump opened his account and did what he almost always does when the narrative turns against him. He declared a group of Democrat members of Congress, combat veterans no less, quote, seditious traitors. This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors, lock them up? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So, by the way, if you go up a little bit, he says these words cannot be allowed to stand. I thought you guys were the party of free thought. Charlie Kirk would not be happy with that. Charlie Kirk would be like, they're allowed to say that. He's suggesting that certain Democrat senators deserve to be hanged for saying things. Now that is crazy, but I'm glad he's being honest about it. Can you scroll down a little bit? I mean, this is just as of today. Keep going down. Do we have the full tweet? That's just a random commenter. Okay. Everyone on Truth Social is on meth. Everyone on Truth Social is was molested and is on meth. keep going down here. Who knows? Anyway, he called for them to be hanged. Now, I'm a little bit I'm going to say the president also reposted a Truth Social user's. Oh, he reposted some. Okay. He reposted a Truth Social user's call to hang these individuals because that's what George Washington would have done had he in. Yeah. Anyway, they're trying to be funny. So here we are. We have, I don't even know who's worse at this point, MBS or Donald Trump. It really is like just two of some of the most iconic leaders of our time helping shepherd in a future that we can all be proud of. Let's keep going.
I feel painful about, families of 9/11 in America, but, we have to focus on reality.
Wait, can you focus? Sorry, can you pause?
Based on CIA documents and based on
so Mohammed bin Salman opens up his answer to this reporter. This reporter is like, how come you're even here? You did 9/11. And his answer is, well, I feel really bad about the families of 9/11, but it had to be done. That's what he wants to say. What he wants to say is, how is Donald Trump even allowing you in here? Your country was involved in the doings of 9/11. And he goes, look, I feel really bad about the families of 9/11, but you got to come correct next time. That's what 9/11 was. 9/11 was the the Arab League of countries saying, come correct. That's what he wants to say, but let's keep going.
documents that Osama bin Laden, he used Saudi people in that event for one main purpose, is to destroy this relation, to destroy the American-Saudi relation.
That's bullshit. Bullshit.
9/11.
That's bullshit.
So whoever buying that means they are helping Osama bin Laden's purpose of destroying this relation. He knows that strong relation between America and Saudi Arabia, it's bad for extremism, it's bad for terrorism. And we have to approve him wrong and to build our relation, continue developing our relation. It's critical in the safety of the world. It's critical against extremism and terrorism.
Can you pause?
About
He goes,
terrorists, it's really...
9/11 was extremely bad. Or he goes, that rhetoric that you're saying that we did 9/11 is extremely bad and it promotes extremism and tourism. It promotes tourism. So, and you know what? Maybe he's right. 9/11 did promote tourism. The 9/11 did promote tourism in Manhattan. I've spent money. I've gone down there. I've been to the fucking thing. I've been to the memorial. 9/11 did promote tourism. So let's keep going. He's going to talk about the reporter that he killed.
To hear, anyone that been losing his life for no real purpose or not in a legal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc. in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Mr. President.
Okay, so let's break that down. So he goes, look, when Jamal Khashoggi was killed, I launched an investigation. We did a very thorough investigation. I had my cousin, he walked around the building a few times, and he said he didn't find anything. And then I had to conclude the investigation. I'm very sorry that journalist was murdered. Okay, Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi was killed, but I want to assure you that we did a full, comprehensive investigation. I had my cousin, Mohammed bin Salman Jr. We call him MBS 2. I asked him. I said, "Hey, can you go and just look around the palace?" And we took a long walk around the palace, and it was very thorough, and we actually had to step over other journalists that we had murdered recently. So I did an investigation into the journalist that was killed. We in fact had to step over other journalists that were in the process of being bone sawed into a barrel, and we didn't find Jamal. So I guess we'll do better next time. We will do better at hiding our murder of journalists next time. Maybe we'll do someone from ABC. You know, this ABC reporter is like, you know, it's reprehensible. It's crazy. And the fact that like, and it just goes to show that we, as a leader, you have to care more about the GDP than anything else. If you try to have integrity, and that really is the sad part. If you try to have integrity, you will not sit in one of these chairs. You don't get to sit in one of these fancy chairs in the White House if you try to have integrity. You have to work with people that kill people. Isn't that scary? I don't think I've ever done that. I hope not. I don't want to work with murderers. You guys are murderers. Remember we put murderers in jail? Murderers are bad people. That's not something. Have we not moved past this? Do we really need to solve our problems by killing and cutting up and dissolving people in vats of acid? And you know, I do want to go back to this. There's so much to this video, but I just want to give a big shout out to every comedian that did the Riyadh Comedy Festival one more time. Congratulations to you guys for helping this fuck and his excellency. I'm so glad that you guys all got to perform for his excellency, Mohammed bin Salman, his excellency. Isn't that, you know, as a comedian, what I've always wanted to do is pledge my fealty towards his excellency. You know, comedians, what we're all drawn to, comedians, comedy, we are drawn to comedy not because we want to question institutions or be a rebel. It's actually to show our fealty and allegiance to His Excellency, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. So shout out to His Excellency. Let's jump to the next timestamp because this is this is just where our country is at, you know. It's wild. It's wild.
Huh? Very good. Well, they like me. The Palestinians like me. The Palestinians are doing very well, actually. I think we're working very closely with a lot of people that make everybody happy, including Israel, the Palestinians, and everybody. That's very interesting. No, I think that I will tell you, the Crown Prince called me.
Okay, so that was a short one. I guess the journalist. The guy Trump. He's like, Trump asked the journalist. He goes, "Where are you from?" And she's like, "I'm Palestinian." And he goes, "Oh, well, you know, they're doing pretty good." No, they're not. No, they're not. Oh, you know, they're doing really good. We're working with them. Oh, you're Palestinian. I'm not familiar with that country. Oh, you're Palestinian. I actually don't. Is that a neighborhood? Is that a neighborhood is that in Manhattan or Brooklyn? She goes, I'm actually, I live in Palestine. Oh, in Texas? Like crazy. That was a short one. There's more. We have more people. Let's go to the next timestamp. Connor's doing a great job. Thank you.
That's the third one.
Oh, that was the last one? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Good stuff. So let's go to our next story. Do we have a next story? I think we do. Elon. Okay, this is great. Okay. If you want to cue that up, Connor, I'll set the stage. So if you guys are, this is a big Saudi episode because I guess the leaders of Saudi Arabia must have been in DC recently because they're all like, they're doing like a big media press tour. And we have a exclusive video acquired to me from Google search where Elon is sitting down at the Saudi U.S. Joint Investment Forum, which happened recently in D.C. And Elon Musk, you know, he's been up to a lot of crazy shit these days, you guys. Elon Musk has been doing he's been making robots, talking about robots, and you know, going on podcasts and doing this. Why do they all do this? If you're just listening, I'm doing the steeplechase configuration number 2 with my hands. Why do they all do this? There's something about being a sociopath billionaire that's like just makes your hands like do this. I think this is them trying to like hold their humanity in. They're like, oh, I gotta hold it in. So the AI, I'll just set this up for a sec. The AI, the AI wave continues. I don't know about you guys. I'm like, when it comes to AI, I'm pretty worried. I'm pretty worried. I'm pretty nervous that it's actually all a massive bubble, much like the 2008 financial crisis was just hot air, a bunch of stuff that wasn't worth anything, that was valued at a really high valuation, and blew up, right? Because that can't last forever. I'm very worried about the same thing playing out with AI. I'm very worried because, it's just these 7 guys that are just doing deals with each other to like create revenue growth for their companies. But the question is, is there actual demand for this shit? Are there actual like companies and people that are going to pay you guys all of this fucking money for your bullshit AI slop? I don't think so. I do not think that the demand for AI products is anywhere near what all of these assholes are saying that it is. It's just not. The disconnect is too big. The disconnect is too big. And you know what really pisses me off? What really fucking grinds my gears? Yes, I said that. Just like Peter Griffin. What really pisses me off is they are already... Actually, can you look this up, Connor? They are already talking about bailouts. Yeah, I said it. The B word. They are already talking about a government backstop. What does that mean for you retards listening? Sorry, that was mean. A government backstop. You're not retarded. I love you guys. You're very smart. I'm the idiot. A government backstop, a bailout. It's just like what happened in 2008 when the government, when these big Wall Street banks, JP Morgan, Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers did fail. But some of these firms in 2008 were given taxpayer money directly. They were directly given to the shareholders of the Wall Street companies, okay? Because they were seen as critical companies that if they failed would be catastrophic. You know what I mean? Like it would be too much. It would accelerate into a depression. And that obviously is a bullshit lie. If you actually believe in capitalism, you should let the companies fail. Because and this is something that people said in 2008, it's socialism, it's capitalism on the way up, which means fuck you, it's my money. And it's socialism on the way down, which is we ran out of money, we need your help. That's what it is. And these AI companies, including Sam Altman, which I talked about, these companies, they are already setting the stage for getting bailed out by the government when inevitably their companies fail. And that is crazy. You would never see me doing that. You know who doesn't get a bailout? Sean's show. I'm not getting a fucking bailout. Okay?
Are you going to say no to the $2,000?
I'm taking the money. Obviously, I'm taking them. Oh, what is it? The tariff dividend? Is that what it is?
I think it's...
Or the freedom...
The newest plan is if you make under $100,000, you get $2,000.
Oh, well, I got it like that. Sorry, I'm actually gonna... I don't even qualify for that because I got it like that. I don't wear my Rolex on the show because I want to come off as poor to you guys. Actually, after tax, after all expenses, my income is negative $50K. So this is on the. So let's before we go to Elon, this is great. What's the headline for this? Let's just take a look here. This should piss everyone off. This is like, this shit, you know what? And I will say this, if the let me back. I'm so animated about this and I'm so angry about it because it's really, really, I really can't overstate how sick this makes me. If the AI companies, and there is a bubble, if the AI companies fail and the US government bails them out, I will self-immolate in front of OpenAI. I will self-immolate. I'll set a bunch of shit on fire. I'm not just going to self-immolate. I'm immolating some other things. I'm immolating some shrubbery. I'll start a small fire. When does this become an actual threat? This is a joke. Guys, so listen to this. Senator Warren, and I don't like her. She's kind of a cunt. Senator Elizabeth Warren presses the Trump administration on potential AI bailout plans. Trump's ties to tech executives and donors raise concerns that the admin might prop up companies like OpenAI, Warren says. So let me break that down for you guys. They are robbing all of us. All of the taxpayer money, all of that money, they're going to rob. Every way that they can rob you, they are robbing you and stealing from you, whether it be through quantitative easing with the Federal Reserve, whether it be bailout plans for AI companies, or whether it be threads, or whether it be like the TSA, paying someone on the TSA to run the threads account on TSA. The TSA does not need to be tweeting. The TSA does not need a threads account where they're being funny. Shut the fuck up. Whoever's running the TSA account for on threads, shut the fuck up. You should not have a job. That is not a real job. This is what's so wrong. This is what's so wrong with the form of capitalism that we have right now in the United States is you have like government agencies are on social media. It pisses me off to no end. And they're not even being professional and official. They're literally being like, it's if you bring a fluid out, if you bring a bottle with 3.5 ounces of fluid ounces or more, it's giving cringe. We don't need that. So, I mean, here we have, I'm not lying to you guys. The TSA is on threads. If this doesn't make you a libertarian, I don't know what will. Okay? And I'm not, but like this is, and okay, so the TSA, this is a day ago from TSA on Thread. Your alarm clock trying to wake you up for a 5 a.m. flight. And then it's some pop culture reference that I don't get because I'm autistic.
Dancing with the Stars,
Dancing
I believe.
Thank you, Connor. That's why we pay for Connor. So, and scroll down, they're very popular. 600 likes. Waiting for your friends that don't have TSA pre-check. And then is this also from Dancing with the Stars?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So let me ask you guys this. Here's another one. Here's from the TSA is on Threads posting memes. And here's an example. Passengers now that shoes can stay on. And then it's like a Photoshop. Now, what happened to stopping terrorism? Now, what happened to stopping terror? Hold on. How about you focus on stopping the terrorists instead of tweeting dumbass memes like a dumb 23-year-old bitch in fucking Brooklyn? I don't care that a 23-year-old non-binary woman is on Threads tweeting on behalf of the TSA. You should get fired. You should be fired, and honestly, you should get hanged. You should be hanged. You know what we need to do? We need to get anyone that runs the Wendy's, the fucking McDonald's, any brand that has a social media account that tries to be funny, we need to get all those people together and we need to do a public execution of all those people. This is a comedy show. Don't. This is a comedy show. I'm just upset. Okay, back to AI. Let's go back to the Elizabeth Warren thing real quick. So let's go down and let's get right into the meat. Let's go into to the middle. Here we go. Beautiful. So again, guys, this is happening in the capitalist United States of America. We are a capitalist. One thing about America, one thing about the United States, we are a capitalist country. Unless you're a billionaire, then we're going to help you out. Then we can't let you fail. We are a capitalist country. And what we do is it's kill or be killed out here. You want to make money? You want to start a business? Good luck, buddy, because if you make it, you're going to be rich, and if you don't make it, you're going to be homeless. Like that's what is sold to us as Americans, right? But guess what? Sometimes you can be so successful that the government cannot let you fail, right? Because you can the ultimate measure of success in the United States is being so successful that you can hire a team of soulless corporate lobbyists to go in the government and make sure that you get a bailout eventually. That is the ultimate success in America. Senator Warren writes that Donald Trump's close ties, quote unquote, with AI executives and donors, quote, raise concerns that the administration will bail out AI executives and shareholders while leaving taxpayers to foot the bill. Now, that is exactly what will happen. I have bad news for everyone. Dick Cheney's dying. That was the good news for the week. The bad news is that every time you get taxes taken out of your paycheck, that is going directly to helping Sam Altman buy another super yacht. The taxes that come out of your paycheck, they go to killing kids in Gaza, and then another portion of it is going to go towards funds that are wired to a Cayman Islands corporation so Sam Altman can take a super yacht to Australia and have sex with a child, probably. I don't know, maybe. I'm joking. Elizabeth Warren, who was a ranking member on the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, points to a recent interview with OpenAI CFO Sarah Fryer, who suggested that the government could, quote, backstop the company's investments in AI before walking back the statement. Warren also notes that OpenAI wrote a letter to Kratsios in October requesting that the Trump administration expand the government-funded advanced manufacturing investment credit, which is supposed to go towards semi-manufacturers to support AI server productions and data centers. What does all that mean? It means that all your taxes are going to be funneled into privately owned companies because fuck you, you're poor. Fuck you. Why are we doing it? Because we can. Fuck you. Go smoke some meth, bitch. Go smoke some meth and have a fucking 40 ounce. Hey, that's where we're at. It's OpenAI, it's Trump, it's Sam Altman, it's Jensen Huang, it's Alex Karp, Peter Thiel. It's all these elites, these AI and political elites going, hey, go have a 40 ounce, you fucking idiot. We're busy. Hey, but also we need your money. Hey, fuck off. I just want healthcare. Like, I need chemotherapy. I can't afford it. Hey, fuck. Why don't you get a fucking job? Oh, you got a job? We need some of that money. Hey, get a job, asshole. By the way, after you get that job, I'm going to need 20% of it to finance weapons manufacturers. That's really the distill. I think I'm trying to distill what it's like. It's like, get a job, asshole. And when you do, let me know because I'm going to need that money to bomb Gaza. So with all that being said, so here's the thing. Simultaneously, AI, there's revolutionary AI growth. Here's what these tech executives want you to buy. Here's what these tech executives want to sell you and they want you to believe. Simultaneously, there's tremendous unlimited demand for AI. Unlimited demand, endless money to be made. There's gold in the streets. You just have to go and get it. Just believe us. AI is revolutionary. And also they want you to believe if this doesn't work out, we're going to need the government's help. Hey, also they want you to believe, hey, we kind of have no idea how long you're going to believe this. And the moment you guys realize that we're full of shit, like we're going to need some money or things are going to get really bad. This thing is revolutionary. There's no way it could fail. But if it fails, we don't want it to be our fault. AI is revolutionary. It's so revolutionary that it's going to inflict a depression in 2028. AI is a revolution, and the revolution is that it's going to make everyone poor. But Elon Musk disagrees. Elon Musk happens to think that work will become optional. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Let's take a look at what he has to say. Let's fuck. Fuck you.
If you say, like, in the long term, where will things end up? Long term, I don't know what long term is. Maybe it's 10, 20 years or something like that. For me, that's long term. My prediction is that work will be optional.
Optional.
Optional. So.
The slow clap.
take
Can you
that.
pause it?
Yeah. I mean,
So he goes, work will be optional. You'll have two options, work or die. So there's going to be two options. Elon Musk says in 10, 20 years, work, you have a job. You're probably listening on your way to work or your way back from work. You have a job. Great news. That is going to be optional in 10 or 20 years. You want to know why? Because here's what the future will look like. You'll have two options. There will be options. Your first option is you will work. And your second option is you will die. It's like cake or death from Napoleon, or not Napoleon Dynamite. Whoever the fuck. Doesn't matter. Work or die. You will either work and you will expand the data center surveillance panopticon AI hentai library. Okay? Or our robots will kill you and your blood will be used as lubricant for the fans that keep our AI data center empire alive. And they're both good options. Either you can work, and you can fan and keep the servers cool and physically fan the servers to keep them cool. That's option one. Or we can kill you and drain your blood and use it as lubricant. Elon Musk wants to use your blood as lubricant for his data centers. That's what these guys all want to do. That's the way you should think about them. They are not technological leaders. They are not visionary entrepreneurs. If they were allowed to do it, if it were not illegal, they would use your blood as lube for sex and also to lubricate the data centers. Okay? They would take your blood in a moment. They would suck your blood. It's really funny to see Elon Musk at the Saudi investor conference talking about how work is going to become optional. It's just not going to happen. He thinks that all these tech entrepreneurs think that like AI is going to create this like massive surplus of capacity and utility. No one wants AI. I want a little bit of it. People are like, no one wants AI. I want a little AI, okay? I want the AI hentai. I don't watch hentai. It's funny to joke about. I want AI to convert speech to text so I can produce my show. I use AI in the show. I'm not like a total anti-AI Luddite, okay? But these guys have their heads so far up their fucking asses that the only thing they see is AI because they're robots. Elon Musk has his head so far up his own ass, and all he sees in there is, human brains, because that's what he eats. Okay? Let's keep watching. I mean, this guy's crazy.
It'll be like playing sports or a video game or something like that. If you want to work, in the same way, like you can go to the store and just buy some vegetables, or you could grow vegetables in your backyard. It's much harder to grow vegetables in your backyard, but some people still do it because they like growing vegetables.
What are you even talking about?
Like,
talking about vegetables?
It's kind of interesting, and my guess is, if you go out long enough, assuming there's a continued improvement in AI and robotics, which seems likely, the money will stop being relevant at some point in the future.
I don't like that.
Currency becomes irrelevant. But AI and humanoid robots will actually eliminate poverty. And Tesla won't be the only one that makes them. I think Tesla will pioneer this, but there will be many other companies that make humanoid robots.
Okay, all right.
But
we have to go.
Basically,
Can you go back 10 seconds? Because there's a sentence that is insane, which I heard, you guys just all heard, which is that he said that robots are going to eliminate poverty. Let's watch this again because this is unreal.
But AI and humanoid robots will actually eliminate poverty.
No, can you pause
Tesla
it?
won't be the only one that
No,
makes
they
them.
won't.
Tesla will pioneer this.
AI robots are going to eliminate poverty? They're going to cause poverty. The AI robots are not going to eliminate poverty. Elon Musk, do you even know what poverty is? Poverty is not being able to have enough money to buy food and house yourself and basic necessities. So you tell me, and all of these arguments immediately fall apart once you ask a simple question. Explain how that would work. If you think through the arguments that these people make, they fall apart immediately because they're all a bunch of grifting, fucking blood-sucking assholes. All they want to do is raise a bunch of money, pay themselves a bunch of that money, and then it doesn't matter what happens. If you raise $1 billion in capital for your business and then you pay yourself $1 million a year for 10 years, it doesn't matter what happens to the company. You're fine. You're rich. Then you can go, and then guess what? The government can backstop you. The company fails, and then the taxpayer will help you out, okay? Because you're a job-creating visionary. So Elon Musk says that the robots will eliminate poverty, and he's technically true. That's technically true, because the robots are going to kill all of us. And then there will be no poverty. There will be no poverty. The robots will eliminate poverty. When Elon Musk gets all these robots and everyone has a robot, he's going to flip a switch and the robots are going to go. And then there's no more poverty because there's no more humans that need to be hungry. Okay? That's what he's talking about. So he's technically not wrong. But if we take it at face value and he goes, robots are going to eliminate poverty. I'm like, I don't see how that's possible. Why? So if the robots do all the jobs and currency and money cease to be relevant, which is what he said, he's saying money's going to be irrelevant. Robots are going to end poverty. What does that future even look like? Like we're all in this utopia and we can all create art. So I have more time to do Sean Show. So it sounds kind of nice. That's not a future. We all know that future will not happen. The nature of humans will not allow that future to happen because we like stepping on each other's throats and necks and enslaving each other. Okay. So it's a ridiculous thing to say that work is going to be optional. For Elon Musk, work is optional, right? Because all he does is ketamine. Elon Musk's work is he does ketamine. He already lives in that world. It's crazy. It's crazy. What time are we at, Connor?
1:12.
Oh, 1:12. All right. Almost lost my voice screaming, you guys. Guys, I think we're gonna end it there. I love you. Don't click away. Go to the Patreon. I have some final closing remarks. I love you. Thanks for listening. Thank you for being a listener. Number one, like the show on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, comment on YouTube. It really helps. It helps me feel like I'm not talking into a void. If you review the show on Spotify, that would be great. And more good news, we're going to continue this conversation on the Patreon, which I will be going into. Alex Karp, our friend, I will be going into Palantir, and I will be continuing our ongoing lectures on Alex Karp's media tour. And this time we actually get a good look. We get to look inside of the Palantir office in Denver. And this young woman who he clearly wants to fuck is interviewing him. And it's very entertaining. So we're going to watch that on the Patreon and review it and talk about how bad that company is, because fuck that guy and fuck all these guys. Fuck all these guys. You know what I mean? It's just, we need a new generation of leaders. We need a new generation of leaders that doesn't rape kids and do this with their hands. What's worse than the child rape is this fucking thing. I really don't. This is some cult shit. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to find out. So that's the show. Patreon.com/Sean Show. SeanReillyComedy.com. I'm on the road. I'm doing Dallas. I'm doing San Antonio. I'm headlining in Columbus as well. So buy some tickets. I have so much to offer you. And we'll see you in the Patreon. Bye.